Title, Lancer Web Show. Director, Jesse Salinas. AD, Justin Naranjo. Date, 02/07/13. Total runtime, 7:59. Take 4.
Good evening and welcome to the Lancer Web Show. I'm Andy Louie, and joining me in studio today are a pair of wrestlers known as the City Roughnecks. I have Jarek Matthews and Todd Chandler in the studio with me. Guys, thanks for joining me. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
Great. All right, so that tag team name, City Roughnecks, is that a reference to River City Ransom, the old school NES video game?
Definitely.
Excellent.
I think it's a very tough, difficult process trying to come up with a name for a brand new tag team. But I figure River City Ransom was pretty ahead of its time. I figure that perfectly encapsulates us as a tag team. So
Yeah, you guys just want to walk the streets and beat people up, right?
What else is there to life, really?
It seems like a pretty good existence, you know? Anyways, all right, so you guys recently became this team. You guys did some wrestling separately as like a solo outfit or maybe teaming up with other people. How enjoyable has it been for the two of you guys to be wrestling as a tag team?
It's been good. Again, we've been friends for a couple of years now, and just finally getting able to build the team up together, and things have been working out real well.
Awesome. All right, so you guys are working with the Los Angeles Wrestleague, and you guys have had 3 matches so far. You've won all 3.
Yep.
What do you guys think is maybe next on the plate for the River City Roughnecks?
I think just going after teams that are even more established, more well-known, more respected within the industry. I mean, we've got wins over guys that have been all over the world. So if we can just keep doing that, that'd be great.
Okay. And you guys have both been wrestling since you guys were, younger, right? And has wrestling taken you anywhere extravagant? Have you guys gotten to go anywhere, like maybe, I don't know, some seedy wrestling ring in Tijuana or something, or did you end up somewhere in the world? Or
Mexicali.
Mexicali. Okay, that's about Tijuana, you know?
I spent about 5 months in Australia, wrestled over there. So yeah, just trying to travel more. That's one of my main goals.
What about you, Todd? Have you gotten anywhere outside of
The farthest I've gone is Arizona. Nothing too crazy yet. Still working on it.
A small trip sometimes can be just as exciting as a big one. All right, so you guys just came off a victory against TopGun and Disco Machine inside the Los Angeles Wrestleague. Did you guys spend a lot of time preparing for that match in particular? I know those guys are kind of veterans of the organization.
Absolutely,
yeah. Definitely. Those guys have been around a while, and especially at TopGun, he hadn't wrestled in years, so getting back in the ring with him, for the first time in a while, was a real honor.
It was especially challenging with that in that aspect because with someone that hasn't wrestled in so long, you can't really study tapes because you don't know if they're still going to employ the same tricks or not.
Yeah, you don't know if he's bringing anything else to the table.
Exactly.
All right, speaking of bringing things to the table, what do you guys want to bring to the table as like the most extravagant tandem move that you guys can do? Do you have something in particular that you guys have been working on? Do you have something that you use right now, or?
In our first couple matches, we used a combination. Todd would hit one of our opponents with a neck breaker. I would come off the top with a guillotine leg drop. But we're kind of changing it up a little bit. We've got this brand new move that we've been working on. We haven't gotten to try it out yet, but.
Now, we talked about finding out a name for things. Do you guys have a name for that?
Yeah, we got a name
technique?
for it. It's we're going to call it the River City Rundown.
Ooh, that is a good one. You guys really knocked it out of the park with that one. All right, so it looks like we have a clip from that match against TopGun and Disco Machine. So we're going to take a look at it right now. This clip from the Los Angeles Wrestleague with Disco Machine and TopGun facing off against the River City Roughnecks. Let's take a look.
Look out! Oh no! Jarek drop kicks TopGun right in the ropes. TopGun hits the ropes and down goes Disco. Todd's gonna take advantage of this opportunity. It looks like picks him up, drops him down, right on the top of his head, kind of like a brainbuster DDT kind of combination.
Uh-oh, Ed!
Off the top, beautiful. The leg drop down a Bama Jam, baby. 3, that's it.
That's it. They are done. Back to
What
the
a
old
leg
folks'
drop.
home. Matlock is on in 15.
All right, so that was a pretty good match. There, a pretty good finish
Yeah.
to that match. Now you both got your start. You guys didn't just start jumping off the rooftops into tables, right? I mean, maybe you did that at one point. But before that, you guys went to a school. You guys learned some things. What was it like going to wrestling school and being taught, techniques and kind of the do's and don'ts of wrestling?
Very painful. Very painful. My first day of wrestling school was a couple months after I turned 13.
Oh, man.
Before I started high school. I think I was still in 8th grade. And that first morning after your first class, you never ever forget, because you can barely get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah. It never hurts as much when you're right there, but it's always the next day, right?
Absolutely.
What about you, Todd? Was your wrestling school experience about the same?
Mine was a little different. He started real young. I didn't start until I was about 20 years old. And like you said, when you first start bumping, you start learning things. Like you start bumping certain ways, you feel pains in certain spots. So maybe I should mix it up a little bit, bump a different little way, move a little differently, just so I don't hurt so much afterwards every time I practice.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that you can't learn. Like someone couldn't tell you about those things, right? You have to be like in the ring.
You just got to do it.
Up against someone in the act of it.
Everything you learn firsthand.
Yeah, you've got to learn firsthand. Yeah, I don't think wrestling is like a backseat driver kind of sport, right? There's no one that can tell you the ropes or whatever.
No.
All right, so you guys have been wrestling both for a while, and how have you guys ever taken a chance? When you're with the other wrestlers, have you guys ever had any kind of like hilarious or like wacky moments that kind of went on?
I think you got.
There's really no shortage of,
I'm sure there's several
stories.
Right?
You meet people in wrestling that you would never have met otherwise. Nothing comes to mind specifically, but there is one thing that a friend of mine, a wrestler by the name of Ronan, he and I, if we're on road trips, we always like to, if we're stopped at a red light, and this has made it to where we actually look forward to red lights, if we're stopped at a red light and someone happens to be walking through the crosswalk, we'll just blast whatever happens to be on the radio, and we pretend that that's their entrance music, and they're coming to the ring for a match. Nice. And so sometimes the combination of people and music that happens to be on the radio is pretty.
Because it's just random.
It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible.
Great.
One time I saw a mariachi musician that was clearly really late for something, and his entrance music happened to be Oingo Boingo. So it was pretty incredible.
I couldn't write that. It's amazing. All right, what about you, Todd? Anything in particular?
I did this one show in Arizona where I did a road trip out with the Ballard and a couple other guys. And I walk when I get there, I walk into the bathroom and I hear somebody from another stall yelling, "Is that you, Shannon?" He's asking for Shannon Ballard. I'm like, "No." And it turns out it's Val Venus yelling me from another stall, like asking me. And then we ended up having this small conversation. He's like, "Oh no, he's outside." And then like Shannon walks in and he starts having a conversation with Shannon Ballard sitting on the toilet in a stall. This is a complete conversation like it's nothing.
Just like it didn't even faze them.
No.
Wrestlers have no shame.
Well, when you've got to run around and maybe some short little speedos and jump off the top rope, shame goes out the window.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's all the time we have for today inside the Lancer Web Studio. Thank you so much for Jarek and Todd for joining me. We'll be back next week with more great guests, more great interviews right here on the Lancer Web Show. Thank you so much for watching. Pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice day.
I like it.